Hi everyone, I'm Audra, one of the registered dietitians for Greater Bergen Community Action Program. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your summer. And today I wanted to share with you a delicious and nutritious recipe. We're going to be making grilled avocado stuffed with Pico de Gallo. So as some of you may know, avocados are very high in fat. But don't worry, it's a good fat. It's a nice healthy fat for you. They're also high in fiber, which is excellent. Out of the carbohydrates that are in it, more than half come from fiber. So fiber is that nutrient that's going to make you feel full and help with digestion. So avocados are a very, very healthy fruit, I believe. You'd have to check me on that one. I'm not sure if it's a fruit or a vegetable, but I believe it's a fruit. Okay, so we're gonna start by making our Pico de Gallo. I have a Roma tomato here, so I'm just going to cut inside of here. I'm cutting out the little part where the stem was growing, because that doesn't really taste that great. And then I'm gonna cut it in half. And I'm gonna slice just like this, all the way across. I'm gonna come over here so they can see exactly what it looks like. So I'm slicing just like this. And now I'm going to turn the tomato and see it has lines right here. So now we can just go across this way, and this will give us a nice dice. And that'll give us a nice fine dice on that. Throw that in our bowl. Oh, one got loose. And then we're just gonna do it the same to the other side. So we're just gonna do some nice slices. And then, ooh, there's another one. And then we're just gonna dice right across. Great. And now tomatoes are really healthy as well. Obviously, if you've ever eaten a tomato, you can tell that it has a really high water content. So that means that it doesn't have a lot of unnecessary things in there. There's not a lot of fat, actually very minimal fat, but it's a very good source of vitamin C, and that's what keeps us nice and healthy, protects our immune system. I have here a half an onion as well. So we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna slice right across that onion. And I love using this technique because it usually comes out pretty diced. You don't have to do another chop over it. And then we're gonna go across the other way, almost like a diagonal pattern. Now, I learned this technique from a chef that I worked with a long time ago, and he was nice enough to show me some great knife techniques. So I appreciate that, and I enjoy using those techniques to kind of cut back on my labor, I guess, in the kitchen. So I'm just cutting these up a little bit. I think the last thing you want to do when you're eating Pico de Gallo is take a big bite into a chunk of onion. So we'll just cut these up nice and small. And I'm sure that the kids are more likely to eat the onion if it's a nice small bite rather than a big chunk. So we're just gonna add that into our tomato. All right. And the recipe called for half an onion, but it looks like my onion was a little big. I'm actually gonna take a little bit of that out because that's just a little too much onion for me. Okay, now we have to add a clove of garlic. I'm a cheater. I buy my garlic minced. You can buy it whole, obviously, but I just find that I waste it too much, and this is actually a really nice product. It comes pre-minced, it's in oil, and it lasts for a really long time. So if you're not a big garlic user, this is a really great product to buy. And the recipe calls for 1 clove, but one little tip is 1 teaspoon is the same thing as 1 clove. So we're gonna take 1 clove, add that right into our dish. And then the next step is to add cilantro. So this little cilantro plant I bought at ShopRite. I believe it was $3. And if you buy fresh herbs, they can be very expensive to buy the little packages. So I bought this plant in hopes that I'll be able to use it moving forward. You can always buy the seeds as well and plant it yourself. I'm not much of a green thumb, but we'll see how long this guy lasts. So we're just gonna take some cilantro leaves. It calls for 3 tablespoons. I guess you just use however much you like, depending on how much you like cilantro. Some people really don't care for the taste. I like it, so we're gonna use a good amount. Let's move our onions over. We're just gonna chop it up nice and fine. It's pretty easy to do. And when you throw that in there, I think we could go for a little bit more. What do you think? I think we should have a little more cilantro. Get some flavor, right? So this is a lovely herb. It's very peppery. A lot of different cultures use it in ceviche. It's also very popular in salsa or Pico de Gallo. I like it. I think it has a nice flavor. All right, so we have our cilantro, we have our garlic. All we need now is a bit of black pepper. I'm just using whole black pepper and just turning a little bit in there. And then I have my whole sea salt, and I'm turning that in there as well. Add a little bit of flavor. Now, just a word about salt. I like salt. I like to use salt. We all know it's not that healthy for us, right? But whatever I'm using out of this and adding to my recipe, I'm never gonna get anywhere near what you would get in a processed food. So don't worry about when you're cooking using salt in your dish. It gives it a nice flavor, and it would probably make you cook more than buy processed foods. So don't hesitate to use a little bit of salt in what you're making. Last step, we're gonna add a lime. So we need the juice of half a lime. We're gonna cut our lime in half. And I have this cool little device. It's just a juicer. So we just put our lime right in here, and we're gonna squeeze until that juice comes out. And as you can see, I dropped a little bit of the juice, unfortunately. But don't worry, it'll still come out good. So we're just juicing our lime. Get all that nice flavor out of there. Alrighty, and now we're gonna just pour that in. And you know what? Let's just squeeze this guy to get as much as we possibly can. And obviously, before I did all of this, I washed my hands thoroughly. Even if we're cooking for ourselves or our family, we want to make sure that we're making nice, clean hands for everyone. So now we're just going to take our spoon, mix our Pico de Gallo. Oh, looks like we lost an onion. All right, so we're all mixed up. As you can see, this is what it's gonna look like. And this is gonna go wait in our refrigerator while we grill our avocado. All right, everyone, so now that we have our Pico de Gallo, we have to cut our avocado. So what you're gonna do is just take your knife and go right in, and you're gonna score all the way around the avocado. When you put your knife in, you're gonna feel that pit right in the middle. You won't be able to cut through it, so that's why we have to go around. And once you cut through it, you should be able to just twist, and you'll have the 2 halves. 1 half, which I already removed the pit from, but it will have the pit in it. It's a little like acorn-sized ball, and you just want to cut around it, and you should be able to wiggle it right out. So what we're gonna do is take our 2 avocado halves. I have some olive oil here. So the recipe calls for a teaspoon. I kind of just eyeball it. Usually when you count 1 Mississippi, that's about a teaspoon. So So if we just do 1 Mississippi, 1 Mississippi, and we're gonna take our brush and we're gonna brush that olive oil just so it's all over the avocado. You can add that one to that guy. Give him a little extra olive oil. And then we're just gonna brush that like that. Just so it, you know, if we don't have any oil on there, then they'll burn when we put them on the grill. And then we're just gonna take a little bit of salt and sprinkle that right on top of the avocado. Alrighty, now they're ready to grill. I'll meet you outside. All right, we're outside. We're ready to throw our avocados on the grill. So we have them all oiled. We can take them and we're just gonna put them face down right on the flame. Hear that sizzle? So we'll just leave them on there for about a minute or two. When we take them off, they'll have nice grill marks on them. All right, so now that our avocados are all nice and grilled, as you can see, there's some char marks on them. And luckily, what's great about this is the only avocados I was able to get were a little bit hard, so they weren't completely ripe. And the heat from the grill actually ripened them a little bit more, so they got really soft afterward. So we're just gonna take them, and I put them in this little dish so I could store them until dinner time. We're gonna take our Pico de Gallo and just kind of stuff the avocados with them. Don't be afraid to be generous because you can always eat up the leftovers on the side. Just gonna pour this over the top. Yum. Alrighty, so this is our finished product. We're gonna dig into these with our cheeseburgers with dinner. So you can have these with anything. You can have grilled chicken, you can have shrimp, or you can just eat them by themselves. I hope you enjoyed today's video and I look forward to seeing you soon. Have a happy and safe summer.